Greetings and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to analyze my own gameplay from a high kill chicken dinner and just go through what I was thinking while I played as far as looting, attacking, positioning, and everything else in between. So let's start off with my plane drop choice. In Miramar, there are a ton of these double concrete buildings. They're called God buildings, and if you guys aren't familiar with these yet, they're called God buildings because the loot here is just super OP. The spawn rates for great weapons, armor, healing, you name it, just off the charts. But let's go ahead and skip the boring stuff and jump right into my first encounter. The first thing I want you to notice is that I saw this guy, but I didn't shoot him right away. Way too often I see people shooting immediately after they see their enemy, and about half the time that's just a mistake. So instead I wait until he's out in the open like this so I can take multiple shots at him while he doesn't have cover. Unfortunately, I missed every single shot, so I'm gonna have to sit here and wait patiently for him to make a move. He finally pops his head and I get a couple of shots on him with the AK, and he goes back into hiding, so I think I'll just go ahead and push him while he's healing up, but he took that advantage to play aggressively, which was really smart, and get a hit on me. One thing I realize here is that it's possible this guy's aiming outmatches mine, and so I heal up really quick, ready for a fight, and the first thing I do is toss a nade because it can really help and put pressure on guys that might be better than you, and luckily for me, I was able to hit him. This is a great example to just remember to use everything you have in your toolkit. This next guy I see when I come up over the top of this hill, and notice again the patience I have here. I didn't shoot at him right away. I wanted to see if he was going to stop moving. Instead, he went around the side of that building, so I actually repositioned to see if I could get a better angle on him. I was finally able to get him to stop, and I land a couple shots here. He's gonna run off. This is just kind of ridiculous. I'm gonna show you guys how many times I hit this guy. It's possible he's healing up in this section, but the amount of hits I land on him is pretty crazy that he lived through all this. But yeah, go ahead and just watch and see what happens here. Okay, so now he's made it behind this tractor and he's gonna go ahead and just hide there. So I'm going to reposition myself again, see if I can get a better angle on him, keep him guessing as to where I'm at. Even though he's probably peeking me in the third person and may be able to tell my position, I'm still just gonna move around and see if I can get a better angle here. He's gonna come out from behind the tractor. I'm gonna get one last hit on him. He's gonna be gone, but we're not done with this guy just yet. I know where he's at in relation to the circle and where I'm at in relation to the circle, so the next thing I do is head in towards a place where I can cut him off and keep him out. Even though it's just one guy and I could just run off right here and forget about him, everyone you leave alive is somebody who can come back and bite you in the end. So I'm gonna move around into the edge of the circle and I'm going to keep him pushed out so that way he's fighting me and the blue zone. So he finally decides to make a move, and I don't know what the heck this guy is doing, but he crawls out into the middle of the open and made himself a super easy target. Guys, please don't do this. I don't even have advice for this. That's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So now we're moving into a smaller circle here, and I'm keeping an eye on this complex that I'm running up to because I heard shots, but I also heard shots at this one that I'm aiming at here, so I'm trying not to get hit from that end, and I get really lucky that this guy didn't see me first. So I take some shots at him because I'm worried he's going to drive off in the buggy. I get a couple of hits, but it's pretty bad because the AK is really unstable. Waiting for him to peek, and I decide to use a grenade again here because maybe he's weak, and if I can get a hit on him, I can kill him. And this is a mistake in this case because I wasn't paying attention to him flanking me, and I got lucky that this guy was bad at aiming. That's really all this was. He made the smart move by coming around the back end while I was keeping an eye on the wall that I thought he was going to be behind, and I should have prioritized cover right there, and I didn't. So learn from my mistake and make sure if you're going to engage in a fight, you always have some cover somewhere so that if you start taking shots, you can jump behind and heal up. Okay, so I'm using the same tactic again here, where I move into the edge of the circle and I turn around to watch my back and keep guys pushed out of the circle. I land a quick couple hits on that guy. He didn't even know where I was because of the suppressor. I turn and I see another guy running in, and I'm also going to get some hits on him. And because of what I mentioned, these guys are fighting me and the blue. So if this guy stops to take cover like he does here, he's going to die before he can even heal up because I've already got the couple shots on him. The blue at this stage in the game does quite a bit of damage, and even though the game doesn't give me that kill, essentially that's another guy that I've eliminated from being able to eliminate me. Another thing I want to touch on here is moving into the circle towards the end. So you see my mini map that I'm outside of the circle now, but I still have a minute and change, and I know that I can run in fairly quickly. So I'm surveying the area, I'm checking my surroundings because I don't want to just push in right away. I know I have time, and I end up spotting this guy. I'm going to take a quick few shots here, take this guy out, and then I'll have the freedom to move in with one less set of eyes being able to spot me. Okay, so one thing I want to touch on is using your enemies as a distraction. I see this guy coming in the vehicle, I can hear him a mile away. He drives past me and he's drawing a ton of attention, so I follow him knowing that other players are also going to hear him and be distracted by him, and I come over the hill and exactly what I said happened. This guy was distracted by him, and now he's an easy pick. I go to pick him off, but someone else was fighting him and killed him first. That guy probably heard my shots now, so I'm looking out for him, but I guess he chooses to ignore it because he just runs away from me. And so I go to engage this guy as well, and a third player picks him off with a headshot right before I do, and he goes down, but the circle's coming in, so I've got to push and just hope that the guy who headshot him isn't going to do the same to me. Now, the next circle is going to move really far from me, so the circle starts to close in, and as soon as I notice that that's the case, I decide to just check my surroundings and see if there's anyone that I can pick off, because the fewer people that are going to be able to spot me as I'm moving that distance, the better for me, because I don't want to have to fight all these guys or worrying about people killing me as I move in. So the best thing I can do now is just kind of keep an eye on my surroundings, see if I can fight anybody in the minute that I have before the next circle moves, and then I'm going to have to risk running across this really open field. Another tip I have for you guys, and you might have seen me do it a couple of times in this video, is to take your time lining up the headshots. Like you saw just there, that guy wasn't moving, he didn't know I was there. I lined up the headshot perfectly, and even though one didn't take him down, the second one did, and it's just really important to take your time if you have the time to line a shot up. Once again, I'm exercising patience because I see this guy and I don't shoot at him right away. I'm actually not going to be able to get shots off because he goes behind that hill, but mentally I've noted his position so that when I'm moving, if I start taking shots and hear it from anywhere in that direction, I know he's going to be somewhere in that spot. Alright, this one is a huge pet peeve of mine. There are always guys in the final circle driving vehicles around, hoping to run people over and get cheap kills. It's one of the most annoying things in the game, but luckily this guy is pretty bad at it. He flips his car, and I just eliminate him really quickly. I'm low on time here, and I'm still outside the circle, so I do spot this guy in the upper right-hand corner moving again, but instead of engaging him, I'm just going to keep pushing on, hoping that he's doing the same, because by the looks of his position, he is also outside of the circle right now. So I keep moving in and I start to hear shots up over the hill, and my first instinct as I get into the circle is to run up over that hill and clean up whatever shots are going on. But then I see where the circle shifts to, and I realize that position is more important than pushing these guys, because 3-on-1 is still a lot. I change my mind and run back, and I see that one of those guys dropped, so now it's a 1v2, and I start taking shots from that guy that we had noticed earlier. He finally saw me, so I take cover behind this rock, and now it's going to be me against him versus the other guy that is somewhere up over that hill. The great thing about this position is that I have some cover from this guy I'm fighting here and from up north towards where the other guy is, but I get really lucky here because if this guy was a hair better at throwing grenades, that would have taken me out. While I'm healing up, he starts getting attacked by the other guy, and this is the perfect scenario for me. It's essentially just making this a 2v1 on that guy, just like when we use the circle to make our enemies have to fight two things at once. This guy helped me out, and we pretty much double teamed him, and now it's just me versus him, and because of the decision I made earlier, I have the better position in the circle. I land a hit there real quick, and all I have to do now is be patient and wait for this guy to get pushed, but unfortunately I don't do that. I tried to get aggressive and get the last headshot in because I'm feeling antsy, and he almost knocks me out. When you have the better position and you know these guys are going to push, you don't need to take risks like that. So learn from my mistake there, and remember that if they have to come to you, wait for your opportunity. So after taking a bunch of hits and realizing that was the case, I get a little more patient, wait for the circle to start pushing him. He runs over the hill, and I take my final shots and get the win. And that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you guys found this helpful, and if you did, I'll do more gameplay analysis and share the strategies I use to get kills and wins. And in the meantime, make sure to like and subscribe for future updates.